And finally tonight, a conversation with a musical icon and lifelong political and social activist. Gwen Ifill has that.
At 84, Harry Belafonte has already lived several lives as an actor, a television personality, a movie star, and as a high-profile civil rights activist.
I took a trip on a sailing ship, and when I reached Jamaica, I made a stop.
His singing shaped a musical consciousness for generations of Americans.
Bring me little water, Sylvie.
From traditional folk music and spirituals to Caribbean calypso and protest songs. And his activism took him to the front lines of the civil rights movement, marching with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., lobbying for the release of an imprisoned Nelson Mandela. And joining other stars to raise money to ease famine in Africa. He has now written it all down in My Song.
I take great pride in presenting to you this most fitting award. Mr. Harry Belafonte.
The group most devastated by America's obsession with the gun is African Americans. They are the most unemployed, the most caught in the unjust systems of justice, and in the gun game, we are the most hunted. The river of blood that washes the streets of our nation flows mostly from the bodies of our black children. And I will tell you that our kids, those who languish in the prisons of America, are waiting for us to change the system. Thank you.
Your options could have been jazz and pop. You know, you were bigger than Elvis at one point, people forget. But instead you chose world music and calypso and folk songs, protest music. Did you consciously choose that?
I was an activist who became an artist. And my activism really started the day of my birth. Born from immigrant parents in New York City. My mother was overwhelmed by America. She came here with hopes and ambitions that were never fulfilled. And she was bringing children into the world at an age that was much too young. And although she stayed the course and treated us with great dignity and care, it overwhelmed her. And she took us back to the West Indies to have us raised by the village and the family that she grew up in. And in 1939, I came back, and by the time I came up on the idea of being an artist, I brought with me this mission of activism. And what attracted me to the arts was the fact that I saw theater as a social force, as a political force. I kind of felt that art was a powerful tool, and that's what I should be doing with mine. You'd be amazed how many of the young people talk about Dr. King, talk about nonviolence, what Americans did. And the fact that nonviolence is central to all these current upheavals, including here in the United States, one can say that the legacy did not die.